Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Lisa Barnes from Summer of the Arts. Hello.
Hello.
And this is, as people think that Iowa City is kind of a sleepy, quiet place in the summer, but not for Lisa,
No.
who is in charge of all the fun stuff.
Yeah, May 10th through September 28th, there's something going on every single weekend in downtown Iowa City and around Johnson County with some of our programs.
And, of course, Summer of the Arts is the brains behind the Iowa City Jazz Festival,
Yes.
which we'll be talking about in the coming weeks. But
A lot.
But for now, it's your other events are ramping up. We should talk about Iowa Arts Festival, but really, what I am excited about is, what began as some concerts on Friday nights on the Ped Mall has now expanded to what is it?
18.
Well, I was going to say, and 3 different series.
3 different series,
in
yes.
3 locations, not counting the movie series.
Yes, that's correct. Lots of
Yikes.
music.
Yeah. So let's start. Well, let's start with the Friday night concert series that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And mainly because you always start with one of our favorite things, which is a couple of weeks of high school jazz bands.
Yeah, we're really excited this year to bring in Clear Creek Amana. And so we actually have 2 Fridays, the 17th and 14th of May, where we'll be featuring Clear Creek Amana and Liberty on one night and then
nice.
City and West on the other night.
And that's a change too, because
Yes.
it has been just the opening night has always been high school jazz bands, and now
Right.
that's just like the Corridor Jazz Project is expanded to 20 bands. This is expanded to 2 concerts.
Yeah, it was pretty easy when it was just City West. And then, when Liberty came into the mix, trying to get through multiple bands in 3 hours was just a little bit challenging. And we have a board member who's part of Clear Creek Amana, and she suggested bringing them in. So I said this way they each get a little bit more time to play as well. So I think it'll be a nice split. And then we actually have more jazz and all different kinds of music this summer. On May 31st, we have the Murphy Fisher Quartet.
We had several of those guys in as guest
Yep.
DJs from City High.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago.
They're so talented, and they've kind of been making the rounds. I think they're trying to play in the Iowa City, Cedar Rapids area as much as possible before they all go off to college. So, yeah, they're opening on May 31st for Beauty and the Beats, which actually features 3 of our board members. So that'll be really fun with Latasha Deloche as the lead singer with that group. And then, we have a variety of different styles of band, including the A.V. Grouse Band, great blues band out of the Quad Cities. We're having Vibe is performing on July 12th, and this is one you're familiar with.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's good friends, Gerard Estella and Lincoln Ginsberg, and 2 fabulous singers.
With Alicia Monet.
Yeah, Alicia and Kelsey, who are they are just they are so exciting.
Yeah,
so,
and this
so
is
much fun to watch.
This is the first time that they played the Friday night concert series, and so that's one of the performances I'm really excited about. We have another jazz night later in July on the 26th with the Vivian Shanley Quartet, and then the Betsy Hickok and Ron Roberts Quartet. Very familiar with those.
Yep. It's as best possible we've hung out.
Exactly. And then when we move into August, Jim Dreyer's got a new group called the Fabulous True Tones. Have you heard him yet?
Blues band.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're fabulous.
I'm really excited about that. And they're performing with Cedar County Cobras. And we've got the Beaker Brothers coming back, Dandelion Stompers, Euphonics. September, we get a little reggae with Jumbies. And we finish out the season for the Friday night concerts on the 20th with various hip-hop performers from Signal Flow Productions. So that'll be a fun night, too.
So that's, as I said, the Friday Night Concert Series, been around forever. We all know exactly how that works. But you've been expanding these outdoor concerts.
Right.
First with the Music on the Move.
Yes.
Which kind of started out of necessity during the pandemic when, we couldn't do anything.
We couldn't gather. And Kevin Burke contacted us. He said, what if I sit in the back of a pickup truck and we drive around different neighborhoods and perform? So that's kind of how it started. We only had, I think, 4 nights in 2020. And then, the next year we added in Dave Zolo. We expanded the locations, and it's kind of grown from there. We are doing 12 different concerts starting on June 4th, and these are primarily held at the different parks around Iowa City. So we partner with Iowa City Parks and Rec, but Great variety of performers, including Kevin Burt, Dave Zolo, James Tetson, Blake Shaw. Everybody knows and loves Blake. Don't know what group he'll have with him. It's like whatever you want to do, Blake, is fine.
Blake de Jour.
Yes, there you go. And then we've expanded this year to include Natural Habits, which is Nikki London. She was around for a long time, left, moved back to Iowa. We're really excited to have her. Cedar County Cobras are going to be playing at St. Morrison Park in Coralville on June 25th. We've got the Farrellings, Crystal City Trio. So kind of a great variety. And like I said, starting June 4th, every Tuesday, just moving around the whole Johnson County area at different parks.
And that brings us then to the newest of the outdoor concert festivals. And that is the...
other side of the card.
Other side of the card, yes. At the Riverfront Crossings Park, and you're calling that Rhythms at Riverfront. I like it.
Yes. So this is something we've been wanting to do for a long time. Riverfront Crossings Park is one of the newer parks in Iowa City. It's huge. It's on the south side of Iowa City. Iowa City residents may remember the old animal shelter was there before the floods, and they've built this beautiful park there. We really want to activate it. It's like 2 blocks from our office, which doesn't hurt either. And so when we decided to do this, we started gathering partners to work on this event and try to bring some of the most well-known names from around the Iowa City area. So we're kicking that off on May 25th with Diplomats of Solid Sound. And what's unique about this event, since it is in a park, we're going to have 3 different food vendors there. We're partnering with Big Grove Brewery, and a good portion of the park area is going to be enclosed. So if you want to buy a beer and sit and have a beer while you're watching the concert, you can do that. Also, at that first Rhythms at Riverfront Crossings, immediately following the concert, we're kicking off the free movie series in that location, and we're showing the documentary Summer of Soul. So we thought that would be a nice transition from Diplomats to Solid Sound. Great film if you haven't seen it, especially for those of us who were alive in the 60s. And then June 29th, we've got Kevin Burton Big Medicine. July 27th, Dave Zolo and the Body Electric. We have both Kevin and Dave play a lot solo, so it's great to have them with the bands. August 24th is Winterland, and then September 28th, we close things out with Shade of Blue.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and we haven't been able to book Shade of Blue for like 3 years or something because they're so limited on when they play. When they're available.
So those are pretty much monthly.
Yeah.
In the park.
Mm-hmm. Yep, once a month right now.
And as you said, also coincident with the free movie series.
Yep, kicking that off. The free movie series this year, there will be 9 different movies that we're showing. Again, moving all over the Iowa City, Coralville area. We are showing a movie in North Liberty this year as well. And we've got a little bit more of an eclectic mix. We've typically, the past few years, focused on very recent releases, but we're throwing in some older movies this time too. We are showing The Marvels, Tooth Fairy. So that's an older one from 2010 with The Rock. Barbie, of course, have to have that in there, and that's going to be at the Iowa City Municipal Airport on July 13th. Spies in Disguise, Hercules, animated Hercules, love that one.
Oh boy, that's a blast from the past.
That's a blast from the past, 1997. Yeah, I think that was the first movie I ever took my son to. So, Trolls Band Together is the one that's going to be in North Liberty at the Ranshaw House on August 10th. The Super Mario Brothers movie, and then we close on September 21st with Halloween Town at the Johnson County Fairgrounds.
Yikes! Well, geez, you're going to be busy,
a little bit.
and you won't, and there won't be any time for you to do anything else.
Except,
but wait, because just when you kind of get this off and running, it's time for the first big weekend festival of the year, the Iowa Arts Festival. So tell me what's going on for that.
Yeah, so the Arts Festival this year is June 7th through the 9th, which is a little bit later than usual. We decided we really wanted to wait until Iowa City schools were out, and they get out on the 5th. So that's why it's a little bit later, but we have a very eclectic main stage this year. On Friday night, it's a little more of our usual, bluegrass Americana with the Weary Ramblers, which is a duo out of Des Moines, followed by Pert Near Sandstone. And then on Saturday, we kick off our usual kickoff at noon with the Iowa City Community Band. Then we have Sub-Atlantic, which is a little more kind of an indie rock group out of the Quad Cities. Joe and Vicki Price, they've been around in lots of different groups in Iowa City. And then at 6 o'clock, we have Alicia Brilla, who is an international performer, plays a lot of great world music. And then our headliner at 8 o'clock, Terrence Simeon and the Zydeco Experience.
Oh,
You might recall them from a few years ago at Jazz.
We had a great time
I
with
know.
them on the Ped Ball a few years ago. Terrence is just, boy, talk about an entertainer.
Right.
If you don't have fun at that concert,
There's something wrong with you. Exactly. And, it's funny because we've had Terrence perform twice, both times on the Ped Mall, because he performed as part of the Friday Night Concert Series one year. Hancher brought him in, then Hancher brought him in for the Jazz Fest a few years ago. And I was talking with Chuck Swanson, and I said, I'd really love to have Terrence at Arts Fest. And he's like, let me make a phone call. And so that's how we were able to get him. And we've already got the Mardi Gras beads that we're going to be handing out and stuff. So that'll be really fun. And then Sunday is really different. Annie Savage, a lot of people might be familiar with her. She's actually moving to Virginia. And so Arts Fest is kind of her swan song. I think it's her final performances in the Iowa City area. And she's performing at noon on the main stage with a couple of her students, the Lorch sisters. And looking at the picture, they look like they're about 8 and 10. So I think it's going to be really fun. And then we have the Jimenez Voice Academy, Iowa City Flute Authority, and then Farofa Show, who is a group out of Wisconsin that's a little bit more reggae style. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 108 artists.
And just a few art booths.
Yeah, I had to think where we were on numbers. I think it's 108 artists this year. Dubuque Street is closed between Iowa and Washington for construction. And so all the artists will be on Clinton and Washington. So it's like a T. And then obviously we'll have kids activities on the Ped Mall on Saturday. Sunday's Ped Mall is a little bit different. It's called Art Making Sunday, and we have a lot of several area nonprofits that will be there, and they'll be doing art making activities for people of all ages. So trying to get people engaged in doing their own creative work. And then we'll have street entertainers. We'll have the emerging student artists in Old Capitol Mall again. So it should be a really fun weekend as long as we don't have any storms like last year.
Well,
So,
fingers crossed for this and all the summer activities.
Exactly.
So, it's a big start.
Yep.
And it's going to start before we know it in just a few days.
Yeah, I
Going
know.
to be off and running. So we have hit you with a gob of information. So I
Right.
think the smartest thing to do is just go to the website and take a look at the calendar,
Exactly.
print off what you need, or just keep a hold of it on your phone. And the website is
summerofthearts.org, and you can link things to your own personal calendars on there.
you can save them to your calendar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can go through our event calendar and you can save it to your own calendar.
Okay. Well, come back in a few weeks and we'll talk Jazz Fest.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30, or download the podcast at kcck.org/culture, or however you get your podcasts. Watch our videos on Facebook or YouTube. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.